Well, hello there. Hello. Good morning. All right, we are going to do some streaming this morning. Let me make sure that my signal is live. I'll then do some distribution. Whoa, that is very loud. That is effective. All right, let's drop that down to be like futzing with the volume. There we go. Okay, got a bit of a nudge, and then I'm going to do the social media postings here real quick, and I'll explain my origin story here. I'll get into it. So, hey, my name is Phil Kearney. I create role-playing games. I illustrate them. I publish online. And I am currently, I've been recruited to create 2024 versions of the subclasses for Monk that are not going to be published in the player's handbook based on the lead that the subclasses that are in the new player's handbook are indicating. So what we're looking at here on screen right now is one of the illustrations that I created for the Color Mana Spell Point variant rule system that I have. It is a Dimir Shadow Monk versus a Gruul Elementalist. There's a slew of books I have in the description, in the descriptions down below that show you a bunch of different books that I've created on DMsGuild over the past, since 2017. So I've been a DM since 1987. I've been creating content on DMsGuild since 2017. I've been a freelance illustrator basically since 2000. So I create books, I illustrate them, and then I publish them online. And I've remained focused on Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, specifically because of Spelljammer, Planescape, Eberron, and Magic the Gathering. Those are 4 IPs that Wizards controls that I absolutely adore. And if I can publish content that I can actually use the terminology from those books and use the labels and the title cards, I want to do that. That's the game that I want to play. So that's why I've been creating. I've got my own game that I've been developing, and we'll probably have that. We'll put that on my Patreon and ttrpg and all that other good stuff in due time. But we haven't gotten there yet. So I'm still posting my social media uploads here. I've been changing the format in how I do uploads, and that I'm including relevant illustrations from books that I've previously created that are relevant to the content matter of what it is that we're doing right now. And like I said, today we're updating all the monk classes for 2024. So I am almost done with that process here, and then we'll get started. So we've already created the subclasses, and if you've been following the martial power system that I've been streaming here online for the past year, you'll see that a lot of the subclasses for monks I had already resolved for 2024. So when I got recruited to bring on to that project, wasn't a huge shift for me to be able to just drop the martial power stuff and just create base classes. So we finished the base classes. The general mechanics of them have been approved. Right now we're going through. Here's the edits that we have to the book here. Oh yeah, let me finish off my origin stuff here. Here's the Twitter platform. I'm at Phil Kearney if you want to tag along. There's coupons, all the illustrations that I do, and links to different projects that I've been working on for cartography and the Monk project, for instance, and the Spelljammer book that we spent a year on. So the Eberron adventure is coming along. We're in page layouts now. I'm going to knock the text in this Forgotten Monk Archetypes. Just get this out of the way so that we can clear our plate again. It's a nice palate cleanser, I would say, to be able to work on this for a little bit. What was the other thing to say? Oh yeah, YouTube channel, like, subscribe, hit the bell icon to get notifications when I'm live in the future. Here is the entire playlist of the entire martial power system that we've been streaming here online. Here's the Spelljammer Combat and Exploration book that I recently published. Here's the Color Mana system, all the books that are in that. here's Point Warlocks specifically, which is, it's like 4 sales away from being a gold medal bestseller as a pay what you want. And there aren't a lot of those, so I'm very proud of that. I'll be updating this for 2024 as well, so if you grab it now for at least $1, it counts towards my medal. Theurgy, ability check casting. Anyone can cast 9th level spells, but will you survive the process? Those are the books that are there. Here's the tweet, and we'll get out of the way. And okay, great. So we've already gone through all the mechanical development of the books in general. What I do need to do is grab the flavor text that introduces the classes and fill in that gap between the title and the features that we get. But I'm not going to do that this episode. What I am doing this episode... let's grab that back again. Here we go. Let's reduce the size here. Over here on the sidebar, Adam Hancock was our editor for the Spelljammer Combat and Exploration book. I'm tentatively working with him on the Guilds and Kingdoms as well as Squads and Armies books that I'll probably be putting out on ttrpg, even though I play tested a bunch of different adventures in 5th edition using it. I could use it for 5th edition. But I'm not sure if that's the proper path. Anyway, a lot of the mechanics in those books were inspired by Balduran's Guide to Kingdom Building, which was one of Adam's productions. And so when I approached him, I was like, hey, I liked a lot of mechanics in this book. Can I riff on them? He's like, sure. I'm like, I need an editor. Do you want to be on board? And he's like, yeah. So that's how I was able to recruit up with Adam. And now he's running another project, and I raised my hand, and he picked me. I guess I have enough of a track record at this point that I can be considered reliable. So I'm really proud of that. Okay, so this is the text that we pulled from the player's handbook, and then we modified the text. So he's like, okay, great. Well, we got to modify the text, though. So awaken astral self. Your connection to your astral self is complete, allowing you to unleash its full potential. I can't leave that text as is. We're required to change flavor text to remain compliant with the DMsGuild. So we're just rewording stuff. It doesn't have to be a lot. It just has to get reworded. And that is all of the things that we're doing today. All of these little indications here from Adam are update the flavor text, update the flavor text, update the flavor text. And then there's only like about 13 of them left. So we're going to update all the flavor texts, see where we're at. We have at most until noon. We'll see if today's tempo keeps me on for another 2.5 hours or not. But the primary concern is to complete this aspect of the project. So when I finish this, I'll be dropping off screen, and I'll be working on Eberron layouts. So once I get the Eberron project to a place where I like it, then I'll start sharing that with y'all to be able to see how that process is coming along. Once the layouts are done for the Eberron book, we'll see where all the holes in the page are for me to put illustrations in. We'll take a piece, we'll drop it into Photoshop, and then we'll paint that here on stream. Once all the artwork is done, we drop it all into place, we fuse the document, and we put it on DMsGuild. And then we move on to the next project, which will be a shitload of color mana conversion for the 2024 books, and continuing to build out the Martial Powers book. So I'll be oscillating between Martial Powers and Spelljammer stuff once the Eberron book is off my plate. 2025 is going to be a year of glory for me. I'm really looking forward to it. So 'cause these are Spelljammer and Martial Powers and color mana are 3 things I'm very passionate about. So I am looking forward to reapproaching those with the 2024 rules. Excuse me. All right, so back on task. Let's get on. If you like this stuff, stick around, because this is what we do. When I eventually start getting the Kickstarters, this is what we'll be doing. We'll do a Kickstarter. We'll be doing a project. Get to a point. It's like, yeah, we can do this. We'll launch a Kickstarter. We'll be able to use the content that we're creating here on screen with you right now to demonstrate the project and its progress. If you get into it, then you have access to playtesting of the completed piece, and we'll just continue streaming production of the piece. We'll go through the entire Kickstarter process and have that up and running. So stick around if that's the kind of stuff that you want to see in the future. I am going to be more than happy to accommodate. So let me double check to see where we are. And there we are. Okay, cool. So back into it. Your connection to your astral self is complete, allowing you to can now fully manifest your, true astral self. I mean, that's essentially what we need to do. Like, do that a dozen times, and this thing is done. We've got good potential at having this complete today. Comment is updated. Is this worded right? Let's see. Rewrite words. Here we go. Astral Drunken Warrior. I love the Drunken Warrior. This is such a cool subclass. I don't know if it's going to survive modern sensibilities or not, but I am proud to have it in my selection of options. So you gain proficiency in the performance skill and proficiency with brewer's supplies. Your martial arts techniques mixes combat training. I'm going to move this stuff to the front. Performance skill and brewer surprise. You mix You mix the precision of dance with the chaos with the unpredictability of a prankster. Your martial the techniques of your art. Mix the precision of dance with the unpredictability of a prankster. Your combat arts. Mix the precision of dance with the unpredictability of a jester. Period. Good enough. Comments updated. I like skipping flavor text altogether and just going with the mechanics. Like, these all still apply, but here's the update to the mechanics. The flavor remains unchanged, but that's me. That is not this work order. I can build things the way that I build them, but when I'm working for someone else, I use their aesthetics and their preferences, because that's what I got recruited to do. You learn how to twist and turn quickly, drunken technique. You learn how to twist and turn quickly while making attacks. Whenever you use flurry of blows, for the rest of your turn, your movement doesn't provoke opportunity attacks. The unpredictable nature of your movements The unpredictable nature of your movements leaves enemies unable The unpredictable nature of your movements leaves enemies unable to exploit the unpredictable nature of your movements leaves enemies unable to anticipate opportunities against you, period. That's a really good one. I like that. The unpredictable nature of your movement in combat leaves enemies unable to anticipate opportunities against you. Unable to exploit, to capitalize, unable to exploit opportunities against you. Whenever you use flurry of blows for the rest of your turn, your movement doesn't provoke opportunity attacks, and your speed increases by 10 feet. That is pretty good. Comment. Updated. Click. Next. You can move in sudden swaying ways. You gain the following benefits. You remain a potent threat, whether standing or laying down. Whether on your feet or your back, you remain a hostile presence to your enemies in battle. The unpredictable nature of your combat style, of your combat art, your combat style, the unpredictable nature of your no, that's not quite. Okay, so you gain the following benefit. Grant you the following benefits. The unpredictable grant you Okay, so tumbling. While prone, you gain the following benefits. You can crawl without having the prone condition, or right yourself to end it without requiring additional movement. Attack rolls made against you while you're prone by creatures within 5 feet don't have advantage. Attack rolls you make while you're prone don't have disadvantage. And you gain advantage on dexterity stealth checks while you're prone. Redirect attack. You can expend 1 focus point to use your deflect attack as a reaction to target another creature if the initial attack roll misses. If you to use your deflect attack as a reaction to target another creature if the initial attack roll misses. So currently the deflect attack requires a hit, and then you use your reaction to reduce the damage, and then you use a focus point to fling the attack in another direction. This redirect attack allows you, instead, if you aren't hit, you can't use the deflect attack because you don't need the deflected attack. You weren't hit. But if the attack misses, you can expend a point as a reaction to target another creature. you can expend 1 focus point to use your deflect attack as a reaction to target another creature if the initial attack roll misses. That's the modifier. This is otherwise the same. Yeah. I like that. The unpredictable nature of... How do I want to word that? Your movement becomes so free of unpredictable. Your movement becomes so unpredictable against your enemies that you gain the following benefits. Your movement becomes so unpredictable against your enemies that you gain the following benefits. Tumbling. There you go. Reword this. You always seem to get a lucky bounce at the right moment. Drunkard's luck. When you make a d20 test and have disadvantage on the roll, you can expend 1 focus point to roll with advantage instead. Let's see. You have developed the uncanny. You have developed the uncanny ability to turn you've developed your uncanny, how do I word that? Always seems to get a lucky bounce. I don't want to use too much idiom, you know, like when the odds are stacked against you and stuff like that. Like those are idioms. You turn the tables. These are idioms. I want to try to avoid. I'm just trying to avoid idioms if I can. But how do I express that without just being mechanic? That's why I like mechanics so much. It's like the mechanics create the flavor, but the narrative is part of the process. So this is actually a challenge for me. Look away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 10. Okay. Your uncanny, your level, You turn bad luck into good. You see opportunities. You see your training, your style of combat has you naturally your techniques have trained you to turn bad luck into good. There it is. Have trained you to turn bad circumstances to make bad situations favor your success. Your techniques have trained you to make bad situations favor your success. Make a d20 test and have disadvantage on the roll. You can spend a focus point to roll with advantage instead. So you want disadvantage. You want to fight in darkness. You know, stuff like that. Updated. You want to tie with your hand. You want to fight with your hands tied behind your back. They won't expect you breaking their arm that way. All right, rewriting your own words since the subclass are paths anymore. Leave that out. I can hear myself, and I'm not happy about that. And there's an echo going on. That's because the volume's up just a touch too much. There we go. That should be good now. Art of the Kinsei. Your martial training your art of combat you master the use of your chosen weapons. You master the use of your preferred weapons through the techniques of your you master the use of your preferred weapons through the techniques of your martial training. You master your mastery of combat techniques is demonstrated the grace you exhibit during combat your combat techniques train grace and precision. Similar to your combat techniques train mix the flow of dance with the unpredictable flow. There we go. Get that out of the way so I can work with precision with the Kinsei. Flow and unpredictability versus precision and patience. Your combat techniques train precision, grace and precision in both weapons and your combat techniques as an art. As train grace and precision as an art with both weapons and brush. With both brush and weapons. Brush and weapons. You gain the following benefits. Agile parry. Kinsei weapon. Kinsei shot. You need to have Kinsei's weapon first because it isn't defined. And you can have agile parry with Kinsei's weapon, agile shot with a Kinsei's weapon. Wear the brush. You gain proficiency with calligrapher supplies and painter supplies. Good. There we go. Got it. Updated. Chung. Sharpen the blade. You gain the ability to augment your weapons further with your focus. You can use your focus to augment your focus to further augment your weapons. Period. Good enough. Some of them are easier than others. Here. This book is going to have all 12 published classes updated with all the subclasses that aren't going to be in the player's handbook. I'm specifically doing monk, but there are 11 other people on board that are each doing their own set of classes. I think wizard is shared between 2, and I think cleric might be as well. I think those are the 2 most abundant. So there could be 14 of us in total, I think. Updated. Your mastery of weapons grants you your precision with weapon attacks is legendary. If you miss with an attack roll using a monk weapon on your turn, you can reroll it. And again, all the weapons that you choose as a Kinsei are considered monk weapons. Comments updated. Period. Your study of death. Warrior of Law and Death. Your study of death allows you to extract vitality from another creature as it nears its demise. Your martial techniques. Your martial techniques. The martial techniques you study have trained you to extract vitality, to claim the vitality lost by those that are slain by the dead, by those that are to claim the vitality lost by your enemies, period. Martial techniques you study have trained you to claim, to harvest the vitality lost by your enemies. The life essence lost by your enemies. Nice. Comment updated. Period. Rewrite in your own words. You gain the ability to unsettle or terrify those around you, for your soul has been touched by the shadow of death. Your pact, your comfort with death, your pact with death, your comfort with death, your familiarity with death. Dwelling in the realm of the dead allows you to the darkness, the familiarity, the comfort with death. That's it. The comfort, the comfortability, the I'm comfortable around dead. Your familiarity with death. Your familiarity with death is unsettling to those around you. You're familiar with death is unsettling to those around you, period. Do it like that. That seems to work. Updated. You use your familiar death to escape its grasp. You're training in the techniques your deep exposure to the process of death. Your deep exposure to the processes of death have taught you to evade them altogether. Your deep exposure to the processes of death have taught you updated. Click into place. Your touch can channel the energies of death into a creature. As an action, you touch one creature within 5 feet of you, and you expend 1 to 10 focus points. The target must make a Constitution saving throw. On a failed save, the target takes 2d12 necrotic damage per focus point spent, or half as much damage on a success. You can sever the ties Let's see. You can with a touch, you can sever the bonds of life with a simple touch. You can end a simple touch. You can end a living creature. As an action, your bonds with death deepen to the point where a simple touch can end where a mere touch can end a living creature. I like that. Updated. Made it. Blarb. Where are we at? 10 o'clock? 45 minutes? We're doing good. We're doing really good. Updated, 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 up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, yeah, 4 things left, and then there was a couple contested spots that we needed to look at. Jeez, yeah, I might only be on for 45 minutes this morning. No, let's finish this up, and then we'll bounce, and then I'll go get work done on Eberron today. You can hurl bolts of magical sunlight. You can harness and direct bolts of magical sunlight at your and direct bolts of magical sunlight towards your enemies. And hurl at. You can harness and hurl bolts of magical sunlight at your enemies. There we go. Updated. Gain the ability to channel your foot. Rewrite this. You gain the you gain the ability to channel your focus into searing waves of energy. Immediately after you take an attack action on your turn, you can expend 1 focus point to cast a Burning Hands spell as a bonus action. I love that it's a bonus action. Love it, love it, love it. Your techniques teach you to your into searing waves of energy. Gain the ability to release flares of solar energy upon to encompass nearby creatures. And encompass nearby creatures. There we go. Period, space. And then update, comment, updated. You gain the ability to create an orb of light that erupts into a devastating explosion. You can now create your mastery of focus becomes so intense that you can create small stars that detonate. Explode, releasing waves of devastation upon those that can see it. Upon those enveloped by its radiance. That's a good one. I like that. Comment updated. This is post-editing that we're doing here. For those that are tuning in, this is the post-edit process where I put ideas together. Adam Hancock as our editor chewed through the different mechanical ideas, made sure that the text was clean, proper formatting for the text, but then we get to the flavor text and we have to rewrite that. So he had highlighted everything that had happened in the document so far with directions on what to alter. You become wreathed in a luminous magical aura. You can unleash you become as radiant as the sun itself. Comment. Updated. And that's the last thing that needed to be updated. So there are some comments that we have here, such as clarifying the magical attack action. If you use a magic action, can that be used as an attack, or is a magic action, how is the magic action defined? I don't know specifically yet. So I know Adam has access to one of the books. I think got it at GenCon. So we have people with that lore expertise on the team that we can inquire to. Now we need to grab all the actual intro flavor text from each of the subclasses and add those to this document, and then it'll be done. So I'm going to, that's going to take a lot of text and whinging, which isn't, I don't think is particularly inspiring. So I'm going to, it's been an hour. I'm not working on any specific artwork right now. We're just doing a bunch of text and layouts. I'm going to go ahead and cut the stream short, reclaim my time, and get busy with that. When we're back on Monday, we're going, oh shit. Monday's a holiday. Yeah, I'm not going to be on Monday. I'll probably be back Monday night. No, I'm not. It's barbecue. I won't be back until Tuesday, and when I am, we'll be doing the Bloodied Farm homestead for the Eberron adventure after Undead Attack. So I will see you guys then. Later, Gators.